Hello?
Yes.
Hi, this is Ben
Hello?
MediaDefender.
Hi, Mike McCartney, Fred Bartram, and Jim Domers.
Hi there, guys.
Oh, good. How we doing?
All right.
All right.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, have you guys had an opportunity to kind of look to see where this may have stemmed from?
Yeah, it seems, from our telephone call yesterday, it seems that we all pretty much came to the conclusion that it probably was caught in an email transmission because the attacker, I guess let's just call the Swedish IP the attacker, knew the login and the IP address and port, but they weren't able to get in because we had changed the password on our end, following our normal security protocol. When we're making secure transactions like these, on the first login, we'll change the password. So
right.
Obviously, not obviously, but it seems that the most likely scenario is that at some point that email was intercepted, just because it was going through the public internet and there wasn't any sort of encryption key used to protect the data of that email.
Well, we use RSA on our end. We have RSA authentication through our Exchange server to get logged into our stuff.
Right.
And all our
But then when it's going, from your mail server to our mail server, it's going through all the routers and hubs on the way, and we didn't make any kind of, key between our servers to make sure that the email would only be viewable by people with that key.
Right. No, I understand that. We could certainly add PGP encryption or some other email encryption so that it's encrypted in transit. But I guess what I'm saying is that how comfortable are you guys that your email server is free of other eyes?
I'm not sure what you mean. Our email server isn't free of other eyes. There's nothing to say that this email was intercepted on our end as opposed to it being intercepted on your end.
True.
That is true. Obviously somebody...
The question is, are you comfortable that it was not intercepted on your end?
I know it can get grabbed. Theoretically, hypothetically, it can get grabbed anywhere along the way as it transmits through routers and different protocols from our end to your end. But I guess we're asking, are you comfortable that you guys don't have anybody in your email server?
Oh yeah. We checked out our email server, and our email server itself has not been compromised.
Of hackers.
Right. Yeah, we're a major target of hackers, and then you guys are part of the government. Government is always a major target of hackers and people trying to snoop around for information. So both of us are pretty big targets.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why I guess and obviously the content of this operation that we're doing is extremely sensitive, and that's why we take very extra caution and security measures when we're talking about access to any of these secure inside networks that we're dealing with. So we just need to, let's make sure that we add whatever security and functionality we need to, so that not only our data communications and protocols are secure, and maybe we should wrap them in a VPN tunnel, public-private key for the data that's being transmitted between us, but also for our email communications, making sure that we can talk to each other through email using, another layer of communication, so that, nobody can understand or read what the hell we're talking about with each other.
Yeah. We can certainly set up a PGP key for the email. As far as doing a VPN tunnel or something like that, I can look into that with Jay when he comes back on Tuesday.
Okay. I don't want to slow down performance either. If that's going to really dog our communication link between each other.
I think that really right now what we could do if you wanted is, as we discussed yesterday, we could change the port that we're doing things on your server.
We're already in the process of that.
Okay, so we can do that. We can change the login. Obviously, the password, if you guys need to know what password we're using, we can just communicate that by phone. And I think the email isn't really an issue so long as we don't really say anything particularly sensitive in the emails.
Right.
And we're pretty available by phone. So if you guys are comfortable just communicating with us by phone, then anything that's really, really sensitive, we can just communicate in this fashion. I know it's a little bit cumbersome.
Yeah, it can be sometimes. I mean, email's so easy, and that's why it's,
Whatever's the safest thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, this is obviously a very sensitive investigation, as you know, and I'm just nervous now going back through old emails. I know we didn't really say too much in our earlier communications, but if anybody was successfully sniffing our communications between each other over the last month, I mean, they're obviously going to know that you guys are helping the state of New York and the Attorney General's office in a child porn investigation of global scale. I mean, they're obviously going to know that you guys are helping the state of New York and the Attorney General's office in a child porn investigation of global scale.
Well, I mean, by the same token, obviously, people are always aware that child porn is something that they need to be, not transmitting in the first place. So anyone transmitting is per se infringing on the law, committing crimes.
And as such, they go through extra lengths to try to make and find out what law enforcement is doing so they can avoid being caught. And
right. Yep. One thing to keep in mind is that, peer-to-peer networks are global, and for this particular initiative, we had decided, just from a technical standpoint on our end, we had just decided to use a particular peer-to-peer network. We could always switch to a different peer-to-peer network if that became an issue in the future, but, we're still seeing that there would be good amounts of data coming through to you. So I don't think that this is going to have the effect of, somehow quashing all the data that you would even be able to collect from us.
No, I don't think so either. I think that the peer-to-peer network as a whole is a target-rich environment, but what I also know through 15 years of doing this is that if a pedophile is in the peer-to-peer network, he's in the news groups, he's on websites, he's in chat rooms, he's everywhere else. I mean, they're not generally isolated to one technology, and they also go to great lengths to try to proxy and cover themselves and, view hacker blogs and logs looking for what law enforcement's doing, and it wouldn't be outside the realm of a hacker group, many of which we've taken down in the past, big organized crime groups of pedophiles, to pay hackers for information about what law enforcement is doing.
Yeah.
And that's all. I'm not saying that this particular small little piece of a global child porn investigation is compromised. We will get lots and lots of bad guys in this, I'm convinced, and I don't have any concern of that.
All right, good.
All scheme of being able to keep, what we do in law enforcement a secret and protected as best we can, so that we can continue to be successful.
Right.
So, okay, some more thoughts on exactly what we're going to institute as far as communication protocols here?
Yeah, at this point what I've done is I've changed the port for access on that. I haven't opened it up yet. But what I want to do is I'd like to set up for password authentication.